Before we proceed into the numerical problem, let's understand the type of setup one would require to do the fracture toughness, to determine the fracture toughness. So in our laboratory, you will find that we are having a machine which is having capability of finding out the fracture toughness. And for doing the fracture toughness testing, one would require a specific type of specimen. So here what you see is a specimen what is known as compact tension or CT specimen, which is mounted on the machine. And in order to determine the crack growth, you have a special type of sensor which is known as COD gauge, which is used to monitor the crack growth. So using this setup, one can determine the fracture toughness, and maybe when you resume the college, one can have a session discussing or detailing the actual experimental methods which are performed by our postgraduate students. Okay, let's proceed with the calculation for fracture mechanics problem, which illustrates the theory that we discussed till now. Okay, so figure here shows a clamp. So it is a metal plate frame, which is a clamping device. So you will be holding something, some object at this particular point for clamping purpose, a C-shaped clamp, and you want to determine how much is the maximum clamping force that this particular frame can sustain if it is having a crack. The clamp plate thickness is given as 25 millimeters, and the dimensions of the center of load application from the edge of the crack mouth surface. So this is known as crack mouth. So for the purpose of calculation, our zone of interest is the region which is shown here. So this is the zone which we are interested in, and the width of this zone is given as 40 millimeter. For solving this problem, we require stress intensity factor. The stress intensity factor values are given from the design handbooks, and they are given in the next slide. So from the data book, one would obtain for edge crack specimen. So our problem lies for, this is known as edge crack specimen or plate, and the stress intensity factors are given in two cases. One when it is subjected to an axial load P. So under axial load P, the stress intensity factor is defined as K1P. In terms of load P, B is the thickness of plate. So B is the thickness of plate, and H is the width of this plate. So in our problem, the value of H is nothing but 40. So this is the H in the formulae which are given, that is 40 millimeters, and A is the length of crack tip. So A is the given as 5 millimeters. So that is crack length is given, and YP is the geometric shape factor, which is defined in terms of ratio A by H. So alpha, it is given in terms of alpha, where alpha is given as the crack length divided by H, which is the width of the plate. Similarly, when you are having this plate subjected to a bending moment, so you have a bending moment. So under this loading condition, the stress intensity factor is given in terms of the moment, the thickness of plate, the width of plate, and the length of length of the crack. The geometric shape factor for this case is given again in terms of alpha. So we can determine the K1 for load, axial load, and K1 for bending moment situation, and we know the fracture toughness of the material. I have redrawn the figure on the calculation sheet here. So what we are interested in is the stress intensity factor for the situation which is for an edge crack specimen of width h, crack length equal to a is given as 5 millimeters and subjected to the loading. So we have the stress intensity factor corresponding to load P, which is acting through the top edge of this plate, whereas in our case the P is acting not at the centroid but it is away from the plate. So when we shift this P from this point to the other point, you will get a corresponding moment. So you will have a force and a moment. The force will be nothing but P and the moment would be given. So the moment M would be given as the force multiplied by the distance between the centroid of the edge crack plate and the application of force. So this distance is 150. So M would be equal to P multiplied by 150 plus 40 divided by 2. So that is the center of this particular plate. So it will be P multiplied by 150 Newton millimeter 170. So it will be P multiplied by 170 Newton millimeter would be the moment which we will be considering. So let's proceed with the calculation. So first we will analyze K1 for action load. So that is K1P. So we'll determine this first. So this is given as P by BH from the second sheet of the problem what we saw previously, under root pi a multiplied by shape factor corresponding to the axial load. The shape factor requires the value alpha which is given as a divided by h, so that is 5 divided by 40 which is equal to 0.125. The shape factor would be given in terms of the formula which is given earlier, so that is as given here. The YP, the geometric shape factor is coming as 1.221. So that is the value of the geometric shape factor. So now we can determine the stress intensity factor for this case for a given load P as P divided by, so B is 0.025 meters. So remember that it is safer to do all calculations in pure SI units so that we don't get lost anywhere. So I'm putting everything in Newton and meter, and h, that is the width of the plate, is given as 0.040 meters multiplied by pi into the crack length which is 5 millimeters or 0.005 meters multiplied by shape factor which is 1.221. So this gives us the stress intensity factor in terms of P as 153.03 times P. So we obtained the stress intensity factor for this case around the crack for only axial load. Now we'll do similar calculation for stress intensity factor under the action of only bending moment, and then we'll combine the two together. So second is we'll determine K1 under M which is given as 6M divided by BH square under root pi a into ym. So ym using to 4, so that similar gives us the value as 1.0394. So we can determine the value of stress intensity factor under the bending moment as 6 times moment. So the moment we calculated as 170 times P in the previous slide. So we had, so P into 170. So this unit is Newton millimeter. So in terms of our units, so it will be given as 0.17 times P. So that is Newton meters divided by 0.025 into zero point zero 0.04 the whole square under root pi times 0.005 multiplied by 1.0394. So that gives us the value of K1M as 3321.87 P. So we got the stress intensity factor under axial load, we got stress intensity factor under the bending moment. Now, as I explained previously, or as I mentioned previously, you in general you cannot add the stress intensity factors by superimposing them or adding them together most in many of the cases. This is a particular case where both axial force and moment are leading to mode 1 type of fracture, and this particular situation it is allowed that you combine the stress intensity factor together. So the stress intensity factor for our case, that is a together case, that is P plus M, is given as K1P plus K1M. So note that it is allowed only in certain cases. Our case qualifies for this particular case, being both the formulae for mode 1 and geometry as well as the stress nature allows for this superimposition. So we'll get the total stress intensity factor for our case as 153.03 P plus 3321.87 P, that is equal to 3474.9 P. Now this is the stress intensity factor for our case, which is to be less than the fracture toughness of the material for this particular case to be safe. So we'll do the calculation. So for design safety, we have K1 for our case should be less than or equal to the value of K1C, the fracture toughness of material, which is known in this case. So we are having the value of 3474.9 P equal to 59 MPa under root meter. So that is 59 into 10 to power 6. So this will be Newton per meter square under root meter. So this implies the value of P is 16,978.9 Newton. So this is the safe load that can be withstood by this frame without any problem in the presence of the fiber. In the end, let me recap what we have seen in this particular session. So the fracture mechanics is a specialized branch of solid mechanics where we deal with objects which are not homogeneous, but they are assuming they are considering cracks. So in the presence of cracks, how to evaluate the components is what is the main focus of this topic. We began with various practical cases which illustrated the importance of fracture mechanics. So many disasters have their origins in the propagation of crack, especially very rapid and catastrophic failures can happen and are happening because of the presence of cracks. In order to handle this situation, we looked into different approaches of the fracture mechanics, and we discussed into two main schools. One is the linear elastic fracture mechanics, an approximate approach, and more sophisticated approach in terms of elastic plastic fracture mechanics. In this particular discussion, we were talking about LEFM approach, and specifically within that, the stress intensity factor approach. In order to use LEFM, which has many advantages, such as it allows practical practicing engineers to uh, handle the design calculations in a more convenient way than in the more elaborate elastic plastic fracture mechanics approach. The basic equation in this approach is that you have to calculate for your component and crack geometry what is the stress intensity factor and limit it within the material property which is known as the fracture toughness of the material. The stress intensity factor, it depends on what mode of failure your component is having. So we have seen three modes of failure. The first mode or the opening mode, which is very widely researched and well documented topic. The second is sliding mode, and the third one is known as steering mode. So they are mode corresponding to them. You have got the values of stress intensity factors available from the design handbook. For determining the fracture toughness of the material, you have to use the experimental methods. And since the fracture toughness of the material depends on the thickness, we defined a term which is known as a plane strain fracture toughness or K1C, which is independent of thickness, or the value is obtained for sufficiently thick components, and material fracture toughness will not be lesser than this particular value, and it is used in the design calculations. So you obtain the stress intensity factor for your component in the presence of the given loading. If possible, you can superimpose different combinations of the loading and then compare the resultant stress intensity factor against the allowable, that is the plane strain fracture toughness of the material or K1C. By using this basic equation, one can obtain the allowable loads or the acceptable geometry or the acceptable crack dimensions for your problem. So that concludes this session. I thank you for your attention, and if you have any queries, please let me know. So goodbye everyone, and see you in the next session.